you've got a Pocket 3 from DJI. And at this point, I feel like pretty much everyone has this camera right now. This thing is incredible for the size and the price of what you get for it, but you're missing out on a big piece if you're not shooting in the D-Log-M picture profile for this camera. In this video, I'm gonna help you get even more out of your Pocket 3. If it's your first time here, my name is Fred. I've been on YouTube for about 7 or 8 years. I've actually managed social media and marketing for a few different companies over the past few years as well. So I'd like to share some tips and tricks and stuff I've learned along the way. Using any log picture profile for cameras can be a little bit intimidating. And for me, it took a little time to figure out the settings to make sure the image looks great. The last thing you want to do is hit record in a log profile and maybe one of your settings was a little bit off. You get home, you transfer all your stuff to your computer, you jump into your editing software, and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, it just doesn't look good. And that's not fun. It's not fun when that happens. So hopefully I can make it a little bit easier for you to dip your toe in the log waters. Because trust me, it's gonna make a difference. It's gonna look better. It's gonna make what you're shooting even cooler. Because that's the key, make your stuff look cool. All right, let's jump into the DJI Pocket 3 menu and all the settings to adjust when you're shooting in log. Woo. All right, let's hop into the camera and I'll show you the settings to make your D-Log look awesome. As soon as you turn your camera on, you're gonna get the out-of-the-box settings. What you wanna do, swipe over and you wanna turn on your Pro mode, bang. You wanna come down to color and tap that color until you get to D-Log-M. That is what we're looking for, D-Log. So now you have a flat picture profile, less saturation, more dynamic range. Now the next thing I do is I come down underneath color, tap on your image adjustments. I already have this set to -2 for your noise reduction, -2 for your sharpness. Now with action cameras, they're always gonna be a little over sharpened, just like your iPhone camera. That's what makes those cameras really stand out. You could tell that it's an iPhone, you can tell that it's an action or a Pocket 3 or GoPro or whatever. So by taking your sharpness down a little bit, taking that noise reduction down, it gives you a more cinematic look. When you're in your editing software, you can always add some sharpness to the image if you want. But remember, it's subjective. It's what you want the image to look like. So then hit confirm. The next thing I do is go up to your exposure. Depending on what frame rate you're shooting at, 24 frames a second, or if you're shooting at 60, you always want to have your shutter double your frame rate. So what you want to do is you want to tap on manual, your shutter comes up. I'm shooting in 24, 2 times 24 is 48, but the closest we have is 1/50. So you want to set that to 1/50. The next thing is your ISO range. I like to keep mine at about 50 to 800. If you're shooting outside, you don't really have to worry about that. The higher ISO levels is for lower light. During the day, outside, in the sun, 50 to 800 should be fine. When you're shooting in low light, that is where that setting comes in. So you want to kind of play around with that. But I feel for me, 50 over 800 does the job. That's what you want. The one thing I definitely recommend is grabbing a set of ND filters for this when you're outside. I got the DJI ones, but a lot of companies make filters, magnetic filters that fit right over top of this camera, and they're super convenient, especially when you're outside, you want to control the light. ND filters, I think, are a must with this camera if you want to get the most out of it. So once you adjust those 2 settings, hit your confirm. Now the next thing, and probably the most important, is your white balance. So right now in this shot with Mr. Darth Maul, the camera is seeing 3750 Kelvin. When you go outside, it's probably going to be a different number. The reason your white balance is important and the reason why you should definitely set it when you're putting on your adjustment LUT, if you have your white balance jumping all over the place, the final product won't look as good because the colors are changing throughout the scene. Before you shoot, lock that white balance in and then start shooting. So the way to do that is when you go into the white balance, the camera is automatically seeing the 3740 right now for this shot. And then I would switch over to manual. It's going to jump to the closest number that it was just registering and then hit confirm. Remember that when you change environments, when you go outside, you're definitely going to want to recheck what the white balance is. Simply swipe over, tap on your white balance, hit your auto, whatever that's reading, manual, confirm. So once you have all your settings confirmed and you're feeling good about it, you can save this to a custom mode. There's 2 custom mode slots in this camera. Pull down on the top screen, tap that little figure guy, and it'll say save to custom 2 because I already have a custom one over here, but I can just rewrite that, no big deal. So you tap that. If you already have one saved, if you don't, you just confirm it, and then there you are. So when you're using the camera, you turn it on, you can save custom 1 to your log settings, custom 2 for just the standard settings with everything set to auto, so you don't have to worry about all that stuff and just get quick shots. But if you're looking to get the most out of the Pocket 3, using the log is definitely the way to go. The first clip here is what you'll get with the default settings right out of the box. This looks totally fine and usable for a variety of situations, but to me it looks too sharp and the colors aren't realistic. I think you'll see that when we compare both side to side. I tossed on the ND16 here and the ND64 here. It's honestly pretty tough to tell the difference when you're shooting in the full auto mode with the Pocket 3. When you're comparing the ND16 to the ND64, that's when you really start to notice it a little bit more. The ND64 seems to recover a bit more of the blue in the sky and a little bit in the water, but that was after staring at it for like 5 minutes trying to see if I can spot something. So it's nothing that anyone but you or I would notice. And this video isn't even about ND filters, so yeah, let's move on. This is what log looks like with no ND filter. Let's fix that real quick. That's better. This is the image you'll see when you drop the clip into your editing software. Speaking of which, if you are using Final Cut Pro, this is how you add the correction LUT. So now let me show you how to get that Rec. 709 conversion LUT from DJI, which is free. Free is good. We are at the DJI main page, their website, and then you want to head over to support. Click on that guy. Scroll on down and view all in the download center. Click this. And then to make it easy, just search LUTs. And you'll find your DJI Osmo Pocket 3 D-Log M2 Rec. 709. Click on that, and depending if you have Windows or Mac, download there. Assuming Final Cut is open and you have already imported your clips, head over to the Effects tab, scroll down to Color, then find Custom LUT in the options, grab it, drag it, drop it, and that will open up a new effects panel in the Inspector section. Click the drop-down menu and select Choose Custom LUT. This will bring up Finder. Now, I don't want to go over file management with you. Just put the LUT in a folder and don't move it once you show Final Cut where to find it. Trust me, once it's imported, it'll appear in the drop-down menu every time. Click it and the LUT is applied to the clip. All right, back to the clip without the correction LUT applied. You've already seen this, and now you know how to add the LUT. A few clicks and bang. This is the clip with the Rec. 709 LUT applied. And this is what it looks like after I made a few minor tweaks inside the stock color adjustment panel that comes with Final Cut Pro. After you apply the LUT, you can go pretty crazy with all the changes, but remember, a little goes a long way. Here is the original default clip next to our new one. Now you can see how digital and over-sharpened the default image looks. The water in the log clip looks way more natural, and the overall colors are much more pleasing. I don't know if you want to drop cinematic on this, but I think it speaks for itself. It's a much better looking image in my opinion. Now you can go in your backyard, get a shot of a palm tree, throw some black bars on it, and call it cinematic. Since we are really deep into this video, here's a clip from my S5 IIX, which is a full frame camera. This is the log straight out of the camera. Here is the conversion. And here is the final shot with some small adjustments. You know, just in case you were wondering how a full frame camera that costs almost 3 times more than the Pocket 3 compares. All right, and there you have it. Hopefully I was able to help a little bit for people that are just getting into filming in the LUT profiles with this bad boy right here. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's your thing, it's your creation. Make it however you want to make it look however you want to make it look. Just go make stuff. Just go out there and do it. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought. Was I pretty on the mark? Did you use some of these adjustments and did they work out? Did they not work out? In certain situations were they kind of like meh, or was everything yeah, I think that's all I got. So this is the point of the video where you normally drop the whole like and sub thing. So there you go. I just did. All right, I'm Fred, you're you, and maybe I'll see you again sometime soon. Cool. Yeah. All right, bye.